when we can. We do want to go now to retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent Richard Kolko, speaking to us from Reston, Virginia. Richard, you've been right along with us watching things progress throughout the evening. Where do you think things stand right now seeing that some of the crowds have been dispersed there?
Oh, I think that's good news, but that means the revelers, I think, are the ones that are leaving, the ones that are out there actually enjoying the Knicks victory and celebrating that event, and large crowds are doing that. Worried there may be some of the troublemakers that'll be left after the crowds quiet down, but at least there'll be less people on the streets, and certainly there are more police on the streets now, so that should hopefully help keep things under control. But we're already past 3 o'clock in the morning, so I think people are probably running out of steam a little bit, and hopefully we've seen the worst of it, and based on what we've seen, it really wasn't that bad. Police have opened up the avenues there. They need to allow emergency vehicles to pass. I mean, there's routine New York City business that goes on. Somebody might need an ambulance or fire truck. So law enforcement has a responsibility to make sure that they've got freedom of movement, and again, protecting people and property. And we saw NYPD acting very restrained, using the tools they had. And from the limited view we had of a couple CNN cameras out there and some of the other areas I've been able to follow on the computer, it seems like the city and city management and law enforcement's done a good job tonight.
Yeah, to that point, in the last hour, we were talking, and then we had to go back to one of the CNN cameras as there was some escalations there. But you were talking to some NYPD sources of yours about some other property being damaged in the way of fire trucks and things like that, and brought up the point that come tomorrow, NYPD and other entities will be looking at the overall extent of what happened throughout tonight. Seeing that we're only catching so much, right, with our CNN cameras, but there are eyes in the sky. Will NYPD be looking throughout the video, looking to see who end up doing those acts and vandalizing the vehicles and things of that nature, and be working to arrest those people?
They certainly could and should be doing that. That'll be up to the prosecutors, if they're going to follow through on it. Law enforcement will make some decisions based on that. But if what we've seen is a couple of windshields were broken and maybe some fire trucks, I believe, may have been damaged as well. If it is minor, law enforcement certainly wants to identify them with the amount of cameras that are out there and the amount of information. Some of those community affairs officers, somebody's going to know who it is. And but there's so many people coming and going through New York City. Depends how much effort they want to put into it. If it is hopefully as minor as we've seen, and if that's it, if we are over the hump here and it's the crowd's getting smaller and there are no more significant problems, then certainly not only a victory for the Knicks, but a victory for the city as well.
So the last thing I want to ask you here, Richard, is based on the totality of what we've seen tonight, how did NYPD do in preparing and executing?
Well, the one PP at one police plaza, they've got that control center. They can monitor all the cameras that are going on, police cameras, city cameras, as well as they're tied into a lot of the commercial cameras that are out there as well. So that gives them a good overall domain awareness, what's actually happening in the city and where it's happening, allows them to prepare a response, maybe gear people up in case they need to head to a certain area. So from what we've seen, it seems like the main areas right here were Times Square and around the Garden. Those areas have been controlled. Looks like the streets are getting opened. They had the mounted patrol up and ready to go. From what we can see right now, I'm not the grader, but as a person watching, I'm going to give them an A+ on what's been done so far.
All right, an A+. Richard Kolko, thank you for standing by for us throughout the evening. Appreciate your expertise, sir.
Absolutely.